Hey, you guys, this is Adrienne Fuller. I'm a speech language pathologist, private practice owner in the state of Florida. And today there was a webinar from one of the big payer sources, Health Network One, formerly known as ATA. And they had some changes. And today, let me just break them down real fast. Okay. So the first one, and the one they were pushing the most, was hey, we are increasing our level two payment from $180 to $240. That's big. That's change number one. So if you remember, ATA or Health Network One does not pay per visit. Now they pay what is called, or what we refer to as, a case rate. And so that means you evaluate your patient, and then depending on your write-up and also depending on the standard score, you are given a chunk of money for 60 days. And every 60 days, if you meet a number of visits, that means you would get the actual money, correct? All right. So the biggest change is they are going to a per visit rate for the first 60 days, that first span. I'm going to share my screen so you can actually see the numbers. Bear with me. All right. So in the beginning, before, if you notice, right, that second payment, usually we used to get at the very first, the first visit, you would get the entire breakdown, right? You would get the entire amount. Well, now they are going to kind of a mix of the two, right? So for the first 60 days, you get paid per visit. So if that child gets a level two, which is a mild, they would get paid $48 for the first 5 visits in 60 days. So if you if you do any more visits than that, you would not get reimbursed. You would need to wait until day 61 or eat that as a loss, and then you could continue billing. Okay. And then same for moderate. For the first 8 visits, you would get paid $40 a visit. For the severe or the level 4, for the first 10 visits, you're going to be paid $42 per visit. And then for the profound, you would get paid $50 for the first 12 visits. So on day 61 and at the next visit, then they resume the case rate payment. You would start getting those chunks of money again. My guess, and it was actually alluded to in the webinar, is that there are practices that will just kind of bill that first visit because there's in their heads there's no really reason to bill other visits until the next time, right? So that's what they say, or that's why they say they are going to this kind of payment. And so that's the biggest change. I am here as a private practice owner in the trenches, uh, doing our best to pay staff and all of this. So I'm trying to be very neutral. You may look at this, private practice owner, and you may say, this works for me. We can get what we want, and we can, as on a per visit level, right? So that may work for you. You may look at this and say, no, this is indeed a deal breaker. And then you would have to make the choice. I do always caution, as a private practice owner, as a small business owner, always make the decision that is best for you and your practice. Doesn't matter what they're saying on social media, doesn't matter what your friends are saying. Remember, it's only you against you in this race, right? All right, so I will say there are some changes that I'm I'm anxious to see. The next is the reporting. Because also this insurance plan, Health Network One, is going to be offering a bonus incentive program, none of which was spoken about kind of in the webinar, which is a little suspect to me. But every quarter, they are going to start giving us reporting metrics. And remember, in any business, metrics are good. So it's these, you will get this from the insurance company. Use this as kind of your own KPIs, your key performance indicators. So those reports are going to include things like the total patients that you treat, the total visits that you treat, the total money that you're getting paid, paid per visit, paid per member, visits per member. So then you can kind of see if you're utilizing and getting the full bang for your buck from this insurance plan, or if you're not. Another thing is this at the very bottom, the member transfer rate. That is a good one. It was mentioned that a lot of times, and I have found this to be true, we will see a patient, that patient may even be a level 5, and we'll see them 1 or 2 times. And for whatever reason, attendance, they move, they relocate somewhere else, or go to a school out of our area, or for whatever reason, or it just doesn't fit in their life anymore, they transfer. So the insurance company would have to start that process at another office. So I do understand it, but I don't. It feels like it's still the cost of doing business, but then we'll have to pay for that as the private practice owner. Again, I'm only saying this because at the end of the day, you're the one that has to kind of make the decision, right? And so those are the biggest changes. Another change that they did also, and I'll get back to my other screen, that they did also mention was if you have someone that is going to be an eval only, be careful that you don't just say this, you get someone who is a profound, a level 5, and they come one time only. Be sure they are encouraging you to reach back out to them to then readjust this request, because it would no longer be a level 5, but a level 1. And I believe the reimbursement on that is $72. So instead of only getting paid for your $50, they said they will adjust it for that to that upper, that $72 rate. And so that is kind of all of this in a nutshell. At the end of the day, if you feel like on February 1st, this is no longer good for your practice, be sure that you reach out to your provider rep and let them know. But you also want to give your parents notice, guys. We are here in the community, serving the community. So whatever your feelings are, keep your patients in mind. And so also start to brainstorm how this could work for your practice if it does. But if it doesn't, do not stomp your feet and be all mean and nasty. I mean, I guess you could, but this is the time to unite with Flasha. They're doing really great. They're really working on our behalf to get the change. So if that's what you want to do, if you are discontinuing or if you're even upset about it, join Flasha. Also see what you can do to be an advocate to make the change. All right. Also, if you are saying goodbye to an insurance company, I did do a video in the past about that exact thing. So look at that and make those changes, and also make it so your parents and your families, your patients know that the change is coming. Because if you're not taking their insurance anymore, they'll most likely have to find someone else. So whatever you decide, remember, your business, your rules. Until next time, bye.